welcome back to At Home with Cici. I am Cici, mama to 3 amazing humans and, among other things, a homeschool parent. This video is going to be a chatty one because, as the title suggests, it is 3 reasons why you should homeschool your child. I want to start off by actually pointing out this t-shirt. So if you've watched other videos of mine, you'll see I'm always wearing t-shirts. I do wear other things, not a big deal, but I just wanted to point out this one because it says not your mum, and I'm going to be speaking about parenthood, so it might be confusing, but it says not your mum, and then there's a picture of a cow, and then it says not your milk, because dairy is scary. So just clearing that up. I am not your mum anyway. Okay, so before we start, this video is coming from a mama who is and always has been a single mother. Long story. It's coming from a mama who is mixed race, low income, working, and more recently also a student. It's coming from a mother who has supported their oldest child through their typically secondary school years of education into GCSEs and A-levels. So I am well aware of the considerations and compromises and challenges that come from deciding to and actually homeschooling. This video is not going to be about challenges and compromises, but if you want to share or ask anything to do with that, please leave it in the comments regarding challenges, compromises, issues that you think come from homeschooling, and I will respond to them there, or maybe make another video. This video is going to solely be about why you should homeschool your child. It's also coming from the perspective of somebody who has worked in the UK school system as an educator, and as someone who has worked with and for children outside of the school system. So these opinions are not biased. No, they are biased. Yes, they're biased because they're mine, but they are not ill-informed because they come from lived experience, so please bear that in mind. I'm also speaking on homeschooling where the home is a safe place for the child. Obviously, if the child's home life is not safe, then homeschool is not going to be safe for them either. And that is not what we're talking about. That is a completely separate issue. That is to do with abuse. We're talking about education in a safe, home, loving environment. Okay, so 3 reasons why you should homeschool your child. Number 1, you are wholly capable. You are their parent. As parents, we are here not to just corral the crowd, keep an eye on the kids, provide food and shelter, and just help them survive. If you think that's what a parent's role is, I would deeply encourage you to go to workshops and training and seek therapy, because there is something disconnected there for you if that's what you believe a parent is. I believe a parent is there as a support, a guide, and an educator for their child, coming solely from the place of love. That's what I think a parent is. And if you don't believe that a parent's role is to educate their child, I am confused by you. And I would invite you to pause this video and just take a minute to reflect on why you became a parent, why you chose to have a child, why you prepared your home for a child to live with you, why you bared a child for 9 months inside your body if that's what you did, why you considered and planned and prepped for a child to come into your life, if the sole purpose of your role was simply to keep them alive. If you believe that your role as a parent is to inspire in them a love for life and learning, is to encourage them to be seekers of knowledge and be givers of kindness and thoughtfulness and consideration to the world and empathy as their safety, their place of safety, not just simply from, danger, but from the small things, their little problems that are so big to them. If you don't consider yourself to be everything to your child, just take a moment. So you are wholly capable. You are raising your child already. You are loving them already. And if you're here watching this video now, it's either because you're looking for a reason to argue or you are truly considering homeschooling your child in some way or another. Either you're like really intending to, or you're just questioning where you are in life at the moment. So I am talking to you. When I am talking to you right now. You are capable of homeschooling your child. You are capable of homeschooling your child. And I say you because I am talking to you, but I don't mean you alone. Home education does not mean isolation. And by that I mean, as the saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child. And that village does not mean the government funded, mandated and controlled school system, but your friends in your family, your neighbours, like-minded people you find throughout life that you want to learn alongside and with, strangers and books. That's the village. Not mainstream school, not an archaic and arbitrary and outdated system and curriculum and structure that seeks to demonize individuality, disregard differences and heritages, and critical thinking, questioning, debate, and seek solely to control and force conformity. That is not the village. So you don't have to do it alone. There are other people out there that want to do this with you. I'm one of them. Because life is the lesson, and relationships and the people you love teach us so many things that can never be taught in school. And just because something is taught in school doesn't mean it's worth knowing. And just because something isn't taught in school doesn't mean it's not worth learning. If you think back to your school days, I'm sure you can think of so many things you were told that either didn't make sense at the time and still don't, or you thought you had to follow, but now looking back you realise it was absolute nonsense. Things that may even have harmed your self-esteem, your perspective on the world, your view of yourself, and didn't really teach you anything other than a bit of self-hate. But then you can also think of things that you experienced in life that you have really learned from and have benefited you, and you could have only learnt those things through living them, not by being told in a classroom. So life is the lesson. And you are capable of giving that to your child. Reason number 2, I should homeschool your child. Your home is capable. Your home is your child's first place of education. The building, the structure in which you raise your family is their school. If you think back to the first moments of your child in your life, whether they were newborn from you or when they came through the door to your house. And think about the things you saw them learning and doing in that time, from when they were newborn and they were learning how to express themselves through sound to get what they needed. How they would learn to read body language without really even understanding what they were doing. How they were communicating, they learned to communicate with you, and you therefore learned to communicate with them. How they learned to crawl and walk and run and play and talk and be themselves at home. That was all education. That was all learning at home, because we are all born into a homeschool. Our home is our school, is our place of education. And that is a natural thing. Just like we are all born vegan, we are all born not wanting to hurt others. We are not born wanting to seek violence. We are born with love, from and with love. And we are also born homeschooled. It's just a label given to what is natural. Home is where we learned everything that we then built upon to learn the new things. So it's natural. And it's natural to be at home with your family and to learn alongside them. But capitalism teaches us that we should leave the home, we should go out over there and work for those people so that you can give some money to those people so that you can live in the house and you can buy the food and read the books. But first you must work over there. And to do that, you have to put your child over here, away from you. That is not natural. We're told by capitalism, we're taught by capitalism that we can't live slower. We've got to rush. We've got to be busy. We can't stop. If you're not tired by Friday, you're not doing enough. But with a home education, with a homeschooling mindset, where we're not living for other people's time, we can live slower, and we can appreciate, and we can observe, and we can spend that quality time with these babies. No matter the age, they're still your babies. You can spend time with these babies in the moments that really, really matter. It breaks my heart to think of all the time I lost to strangers who didn't love my child, to strangers who spoke unkind words in unkind tones, who told them things they shouldn't hear, because they were at school, away from me. And it's so unnatural. Homeschooling can be the most intentional way to raise your child, because when you were preparing for that child to come into your life, however they were going to come into your life, you had these intentions and these plans and these things that you wanted to share with them and teach them. And that doesn't change when you're homeschooling. That continues. You're still preparing and creating this environment as you watch them grow, as you observe what they're interested in, what excites them, how they move through the world. You're seeing that. You're intentionally supporting and providing and preparing the environment to help guide them towards what they want to be guided towards, where you see them going. Every decision you make is based on how your home, how you and your child can support their learning. But when you send them to school, for want of a better word, we're just fobbing them off on the professionals. But there is no one more expert in your child than you. Outside of themselves, you are who knows them best. You know what makes them tick, you know what they're capable of, you know what they're good at, you know what excites them, you know what scares them, you know what triggers them. Mrs. Roberts, Mr. Johnson, they have no idea. even if they have them all year, every day at school, they still don't really truly know who they are when they're feeling their most themselves, when they're feeling safe and comfortable at home. They don't know their secrets and their nuances, because that teacher is just an adult who's in the workforce, who's at this school, so he can make money for that person, so that he can give it to that person, so he can stay living in that place and can afford to buy the food. He's just at work. These people are just at work. Like you, when you go to your job, you're just at work. You wouldn't be there if you weren't getting paid. They wouldn't be there if they weren't getting paid. So you've got to remember that. You're sending your children away from you, who loves them and knows them, to someone who doesn't think about them when they're teaching, who doesn't care. I mean, I'm not saying that teachers don't care, of course, but no one cares for your child like you, is what I am saying. And if you're not fobbing them off to school, they're here with you. You're there with them, and you're able to see, like I said, where they are in life, what they're ready for. You can support their development when they're ready for that support. And it's not based on how old they are and what gender they are and where they live, what colour they are, how rich their parents are. It's just based on them, that person in your home, that person you're raising, who you love unconditionally. You're there to support their development. And there's no better way to stay involved in that development and in their growth, in every sense of the word growth, than by guiding, encouraging and preparing that home education environment for them. And by growth in every sense of the word, I mean growth physically. So you support them through nutrition. You're there to give them the best that you can. Support them physically in terms of actual growth and strength by providing them opportunities to challenge themselves, take risks, show their strengths. Children love to show their strength, and we can give them those opportunities outside of school. But growth in terms of their heart, their empathy. You can instill the values that you and your families believe in. You are there to support the growth of their mind, not just learning times tables, which are important, of course, but they are not everything that we need to know, and they are not the most important. So you're supporting the growth of their mind outside of numbers, outside of the curriculum, but to be expansive thinkers, critical thinkers, and learnophiles. That isn't a word, but I'm just going to make it one right now. People who just love to learn, because if you love to learn, you don't stop. And by learning, you're teaching. By learning, you're progressing. By learning, you're creating a better world, because you're able to share what you learn. And just like my little one, just like all my children, they love to show what they know. Children love to show what they know. They love to learn, and they love to let you know what they know. And the more they know, the more places you'll go, as Dr. Cici said. So, reason number 3 why you should homeschool your child. Age is limiting and dismissive. In a homeschool environment, children grow and learn and explore on their own terms, at their own pace, and they achieve based on their own challenges, rather than these preset expectations put upon them by the state. Expectations that foster shame and unhealthy competition and self-doubt, which leads to the stain on our society that is anti-child ageism. In school, children are taught to hate children. I'm sure you can remember, and I'm sure you've seen it and experienced it. The bigger children are the better children. The little kids are told, oh no, that's big kid stuff. Oh, that's grown up stuff. Oh, you're not a big kid yet, you can't do that. it is aspirational to be older. To be young is to be undesirable, is to be less than. And we're teaching our children that I'm in year 6, I'm better than year 4s. Oh, you're just year 2, you're a baby. So many times working with children I've had, oh, he called me a baby. And I would respond with, oh, that's nice, babies are lovely. And it would confuse them. That response would confuse them because they've been told that being young, being the little one is not desirable, is not what you want to be. You want to aim to be an adult so then you can be useful. If you're a child, you're not useful. Your opinion isn't heard, and your mind and your thoughts are not considered. To be older is to be wiser. To be young is to be foolish. And that's what we're teaching children. But in a homeschool environment, age is not the thing. Age isn't a thing. Right now you're 4, we're going to do this. Now you're 5 and a half, it's time to start doing this. It just doesn't make sense to anyone. It is so meaningless. Age is so meaningless. Age, especially for children, is just an opportunity to celebrate their life every year. That is what age is. It's just a reminder that, oh my gosh, it's been a year since you've been here. It is not a measure of their capabilities, their worth, and where and who they should be. In homeschool, they are free to just be without the restrictions, limitation of age. Okay. So rule number 3 is also, not rule number 3. The third reason why you should homeschool your child is because your child is capable. Despite or irregardless of their age, they are capable. If they are 3 and they are showing signs that they're ready to read and write, they can read and write. If they are 7 and they are still not reading and writing and they don't show any interest in that, then they don't need to read and write. Socialization is a big one when homeschool is brought up as a topic, and it's believed that school is the place for children to socialize. But do we as adults look for friends? If you're 27, then all your friends should be 27. If you live in, I don't know, Harrow, all your friends should live in Harrow. If you wear those white trainers, then you can only be friends with people with white trainers. No, that is just completely unnatural and just sounds ridiculous when you say it out loud. But that is what people think socialization is for children by going to school. Children should go to school to socialize, otherwise they won't have any friends and they won't know how to speak to people and they won't know how to be around people. But my goodness, children at school are only around their peers, as in their peers who are the same age and from the same area. That is not a natural way to socialize. That doesn't make sense. That is not how it happens outside of school. It only happens like that in school. The children are separated. They're grouped into age categories. And this doesn't encourage them to build relationships, to seek relationships based on interests and passions and heritage and commonalities outside of how long they've been alive and what street they live on. It doesn't empower them to navigate through problems in relationships, through disagreements, because everything is overseen by the adult, by the authority, by the school, by the system. We don't give children the confidence, we don't instill in them the feeling that they are able to navigate through life themselves, and they must rely on an adult. Go and tell the teacher, not that you can deal with this, you can handle this, you can work through this, I trust you, you should trust yourself. No, tell a teacher. They're the ones that will deal with it, because you can't be trusted. You're just a child, you don't know what to do. But how will they know what to do if we don't allow them to learn? In a homeschool environment, we allow them to learn. In a school, mainstream school environment, They are allowed to learn the things they're told they should learn and nothing else. And that leads me on to say how homeschool is a bespoke experience. It caters to that child, and that's what children need. They need that attention, they need that understanding, and they need that space to be who they are without adhering to these standards that are set by random white guy from so many years ago as well. So much of what we learn in school is still the same from when schools began in, I don't know, the Victorian times. The sit down and write, the copy, the teacher stand, the children listen situation. That is so mad. That is like one of the least efficient, least effective ways of learning and falling in love with learning. It's like the worst way to learn. Any study will tell you that. But that's what we perpetuate, that's what we keep supporting, that's what we've normalised over the years. And if anyone goes against it, they're considered foolish, they're considered all sorts of words that we don't need to say. But in a homeschool environment, the child is the teacher, in the sense that they let us know what needs to be learned, where they need to be. It's not the other way around. It's a team effort. It's a group effort. It's not teacher and then down here is pupil. It's us, we together. And that also leads me on to say how your child is capable, because you can rely on your child. You can rely on yourself, your home and your child. And you don't need to externalize the responsibility. You are capable of teaching your child. You are capable of caring for your child when they're sick. You are capable of raising your child and giving them these opportunities in life that they will continue on into their adulthood, whatever that means. So I am anti-school. As a person who's worked in schools, I am anti-school. I am also pro-education. And education is life, is living, is home, is family, is love. You are capable, your house is capable, your home is capable, your child is overwhelmingly capable. We never, throughout the history of the world, have given children the consideration of their worth and their capability. I just want to say, before I finish, that the only reason you are here today, capable of all the things you are doing today and have done up until today, is because of the child you were. If it wasn't for the child you were, you wouldn't be who you are today. So give thanks and gratitude to that child, respect that child in you, and respect your child, and give them that same grace and confidence and support. Keep them at home, keep them safe, keep them loved, and keep them alive in learning. Home educate your child. Don't send them to school, please.